What's up, YouTube? We're live, so um, wanted to go ahead and uh, get this started and welcome everybody to my channel, Boston Chris Comics. Thank you guys for watching. Gonna go ahead and be joined by my guest, Whodat Comics and Movies, momentarily. But we decided to go live and just go over our top books for 2022. When it comes to making these lists, I really like doing this list. I know some people, um, you know, just are very organized and they're able to go ahead and get this stuff going and know exactly, what they want to collect, how they want to collect, and all that type of stuff. Me, I'm a little bit more scatterbrained sometimes, and I just want to go ahead and get myself organized. So that's why I do this list. And then I'm gonna actually go ahead and bring in my guest, Mr. Whodat Comics and Movies. Here he is.
Oh. Hey, hello. What's going on? All right, let's go. Yeah. I literally walked in the house.
Oh no, don't even worry about it, man. I was just kind of sitting there, curious as to just in general, like what I would say if I started it and everything, and then just kind of, seeing that there's a lot of other activity going on right now. So, I figured give some people some time to kind of like switch over and do their thing, just because there's a lot of stuff going on tonight, and happy to have anybody come in and just watch and enjoy all this. So, let's see. Do you want to go first, or it doesn't matter to me?
Well, I was sharing the video. That's what I was doing right at this moment. So,
That's cool.
Wanted to do that. So, share the video. I want to change my banner because my banner's freaking too long. This is not our. This is not a.
Yeah, no,
not
he's
an
not
auction.
selling stuff right now.
This is not. This is not an auction. This is basically a chat to talk about our 2022 want list. I kind of call it. This is what I kind of call this list 2022/2023.
Oh, my.
Because yeah, but you probably know what I'm going with. This is because Chris just started. I kind of got him rolling, got him in the mood of this. I've been doing this, but we have goals that we're trying to reach. And It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be brick by brick, step by step in this process. So that being said, I mean, I could start on the stuff I have. I don't have anything to just, show, be like, yeah, I got, but the small books that are on my list, and I'd say small books, but they're relatively still expensive. But since I'm not really buying many new books, only new books I really buy is my turtle stuff. That's what, and I'll miss out on the Black Panther 3s and all these other stuff. I'll miss out on that because I'm not buying new books. But the first small big book, because I say small big book because it's like I said, it's not cheap. And it's really not my collection. This goes towards my daughter's collection. So I would probably hold on to it till she gets old enough and she wants to do it. Is X-Men 101. So that's one of the ones that it's on my list for this year. I think that's more attainable this year, especially with the price has been going down. So this is my crazy list. This is my crazy. Thanks to my buddy Chris that I done. This is my crazy list.
Let's see. I'm trying to figure out. I'm so new to this whole thing, so I'm just like, I'm not sure how do I just like spotlight you to go over the list. But I mean, we can do like this.
We can. I can break it down. We can go to yours. I can do a couple. You can go to yours and bring this back up later. But X-Men 101, the two ones that I think, well, actually three of them that are obtainable this year, out of all of this craziness, is the X-Men 101. Like I said, I want to knock that out for my daughter, and I have a specific grade that I want to get at, because I've seen the price dip in these, and some people trying to hold tight, don't want to sell it for what they've been selling it for. But all that means is good for me because they're not making any sales and they have their money tied up and stuff they can't do. It's X-Men 101. I want to get a 9.4. I don't want to get that. If I get a 9.2, I'll settle for 9.2 if it's white pages, but 9.2 if I can't find a 9.4, but 9.2 to 9.4 white pages is I'm looking for specifically for that book. Price has been dropping. That's why I want a 9.4, because it's a big jump from a 9.6 to a 9.4, from a 9.4 to a 9.6. And the other book, and I'll talk about the three books, and then Chris can go to his. Dr. Doom, the Marvel Superheroes 20, Dr. Doom.
Yeah,
is if you get it graded, it can be a little pricey. You get it graded, but I'm trying to get a raw copy because people are sending this book in crazy to get it graded, and the price is going up on graded price. But raw copies have been, $200 to $300, which I think that's fair for a classic book, classic cover, important villain. So that's why I think, I really think Dr. Doom probably I can knock out first if I could find it. It's the first thing.
Yeah.
X-Men 101, I think I can find easier out of the three.
Yeah, definitely.
And knock it out. The Doom is cheaper, but I have to find it. And the other book, and then we'll let Chris go, and then we can talk about some more other crazy ones. I'll still stay on the top list. But it's the Turtles special, Turtle Mania special #1 in a 9/8. The reason why it's in a slab, like I told Chris, I said that book is notorious being reprinted every year. It gets reprinted. I never would purchase that book raw. Never in a million years. Unless I purchased it from Kevin Smith himself. If I purchased it from Kevin Smith himself or Peter Laird, and they guarantee me this is original, that's a different story. So if it's not one of those two, the odds of me getting it from one of those two are very slim. I have a better chance with Kevin Eastman than Peter Laird. But since I probably won't be a lucky person to get that because it will be out of his personal collection, so the price of that be double probably what the 9/8 goes for. I'll just go for the 9/8. It's rare. I would say rare and hard to find. They only made so many, and it's hard to get a 9/8. So, but that's my goal for that. I don't want to say. I think it's around. Last time I checked, it was around $1,600. I can sell some stuff, save up. That's towards middle to the end of the year goal. But if these auctions are as successful as they have been the last couple of times, when I know when Chris and myself have been on there doing them, if they keep being that successful, I could see that being a little earlier toward not the end of the year, probably the middle of the year. But those are my three that I want to get in 2022. I have to get.
Okay. I mean, and it's a good list. And really, I mean, it's funny that you say that, as far as like, just kind of putting 2 years into one, just because, what's funny is that, a lot of times you think of these lists and you're like, all right, this is the books I want to get. And you'll see mine's ridiculous. Like, and it's because I was saying before, like I get a little bit like scatterbrained. So I'm like, all right, which books do I really want to get? Like if I could, and I just cast a really wide net. So if I get this stuff, I get it. If I don't, then, I'll just carry it over to the next year. So mine is probably until about 2025, 26, just with everything I'm looking for, unless I hit the lottery. Then
and let me correct myself. We did talk about this, and I totally forgot. We basically did say 2022, like 2025. Because he saw some of the books on my list. That's basically what, like this bottom list is like 2025 as well. So I may correct myself. The top row is like 2022, 2023. The top row. The bottom row, we talk about 2025 unless I hit the lottery.
Yep. So I just want to shout out Jeffrey Comic-Con. What's up, Jeffrey? How you doing? Jeffrey's in the chat.
Man, the myth, the legend, Jeffrey.
That's right.
Comic-Con.
HBK.
Henson. He used to be Jeffrey Comic-Con Henson.
But now he's just Jeffrey Comic-Con. He's just keeping it simple, narrowing it down, which I probably should have done with my list. My list is a monstrosity. But you know what though? I'm not upset about that just because.
Can't wait to see your list.
All right. I'm gonna tell you, it's ridiculous. So they give you too much room on these comic boards is the problem. So my list is ridiculous as far as like all these different books. You should have broke them down in tiers. I probably should. But I mean, they're attainable books. They're not books that you can't get. They're not books that are extremely hard to find. Nothing that like, and it was really cool that you said that about that Turtle Mania, that pro tip, just because I think a lot of people might not know that. And so someone would be like, oh, I scored this, Turtle Mania. And it's just like, yeah, from 2016, that's going to kill you.
Because they printed it heavily when they got to the 35-year anniversary. And they're going to reprint it heavily in 2 years when it reached 40 years. Because it came out in 1984. So that, like I said, pro tip, got to be aware of that.
Yeah. So this list is pretty hefty. And as far as books that, I would like to see myself get this year, like, I'll stick to about 5 of them off the top of my head. So I'd love to see myself get a Thor 165. Um, I really want to try to get Silver Surfer 14. And I might have a little luck on that one just because I
Oh
saw.
yeah, because we saw a video about with that. I think they
Yeah,
had that book in the video, and I think it was priced very good, if I remember
exactly.
correctly.
I had to double check some of my finances real quick. I'm like, ooh, I have to check out that when that comes time. So, um, X-Men 101 is another one, just because, like you were saying, there's so many, just good prices on that right now. So it's just like it's just all about what quality you're looking for and how it's going to
Yeah,
go. So, you know,
yeah.
and then I would say also, Fantastic Four 67 is definitely one I want to pick up, just
Mhm.
because I'm trying to. I mean, obviously the Warlock news broke, so I want to. I mean, I'm not quite. I'm not ahead of it, but he's not on screen yet. I have probably. I would say probably
You
about another year
have,
before he gets on
yeah,
screen.
you have a solid year, I would say, before it makes another jump. Yeah,
Yeah, and really, I mean, I've done well with all the Warlocks. Like I still consider myself a little ahead of the game, just because really, the Thor 165 and the Fantastic Four 67 are the only two books I need for Warlock. I have the rest of his entire run, the Marvel Premiere stuff, his solo run. I mean, if you want to count Infinity Gauntlet, I have that. I mean, so I have a lot of his stuff. Oh, and the Strange Tale stuff, I have all of that. So I've been pretty fortunate to be able to pick up a lot of his run. Um, you know, with no problem, being able to get it in shops, but these last two, they're going to be a little tougher, but that's okay. And then I would say the a couple of more of the X-Men books. Like you don't see many of the ASMs in stores. Like you don't see any of the you don't see any of those really in stores unless like I did see one that was rated.
only one out of that list I've seen in stores is the 100. Out of
Yeah,
all the ASM ones, I've seen number 100 a few times in stores.
yeah,
And actually relatively good prices. But like you said, it all depends what quality you want. Um,
yeah,
so if, I think you probably can get that one. You probably get that one pretty quickly. Uh,
yeah,
you know, but like I said, it depends on quality. But yeah, I
yeah.
can see that one out of the ASM ones. I can see that one getting knocked out first.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of I mean, there's a couple of them that are kind of like I would say hopefully I can get them just because they're newer. Like one that's in particular is kind of I think it's one of those things where I started thinking like when everyone's looking left, you got to look right. When everyone's looking right, you look left. So I don't think anybody's looking at or even discussing Tank Girl. And Tank Girl, you know, Tank Girl #1, that cover is awesome. As far as indie books are concerned, I feel like that's one of the big ones that if you're
Mhm.
into any kind of indie, it's definitely a good one to get. So I'm definitely looking to pick that up. And then just kind of having that as a PC book, like I'm not a huge Tank Girl fan. I'm not really like the most I know about her is from the movie that came out way back in like 93 or something like that, 95.
Mhm.
So when it comes to that, I'm just kind of like, I just always it's just a cover that I really like. So I would get that, get it slabbed. The one thing with that book is that you got to make sure there's trading cards that are included. So you have to make sure that the trading cards are in it. Because I guess, if you don't, it's not a complete book. And then that'll smash your grade to the floor. So I'm hoping to get one that's high grade, or at least high enough that I can, potentially get from I would say 9.4 to hopefully 9.8 area, with the press and everything, and then just kind of put it in the slab, and that'll be my PC book for a while. So. But there's a lot of stretch goals on this too, and I guess one of the other ones is kind of like I hope hopefully get, but we'll see. I'm not gonna break my back for it. Is the Spider-Man one that Illmatic cover? That's Miles Morales. I really love that cover.
Yeah, I would definitely. That one's still dropping in price.
Hmm.
So people are trying to hold strong for Miles, maybe live action. I think for that book, but
Yeah.
as long as they have no live action Miles, I think you can get that. Um, it's so funny is I looking at your list. I might be a supplier for some of those books on the list.
Yeah, what's funny is that so the X-Men 266, I started, so this is how like OCD I am with this right now. So I started another list of like, books I want to upgrade from. So I'm like, and I didn't mean to write that down, but I was like, oh, I should just do another list of, upgrades. So just other things I'm keeping my eye on to see about
Yeah,
trying
so
to.
I could tell you this, and when people watch this, a few of these books on this list that might be 4 to 6 months. I'll get them back. No, say it like that because we don't know. Erod's gonna be mailing them off to CGC probably this week. And it's out of that list is Fantastic Four 67 that he has.
Nice.
I sent him a 266. Well, did I send him or Yahweh? No, Yahweh got the 266. All right, so so those two definitely will come back probably within 4 to 6 months, whenever it is. Also, the Silver Surfer #1 that Erod, I sent to Erod. And I'm trying to see what else I have on that list. That I think maybe just those three. Yeah, that's like those three I definitely have. So you never know because I'll tell you more offline about that. But yeah, it'd be ones that I wish I knew the grades ahead of time, and then you would know. You're like, all right, let me.
Yeah, exactly. Let me save
because people like myself and a few others, we don't mind doing payment plans for stuff like that. As long as it's not like a 6-month play. but just to know that somebody has 3 of the books that you're looking for is probably a good headway. And I know probably Yahweh has a few of those other books, or Jeffrey's buddy Tony, like his shop might have some of those books too. But I think a lot of that list is especially obtainable that you showed. Especially since you're moving doubles and triples of your collection.
I think I would say that the hottest ones that I know of that are going to be tough as far as like pricing wise, the toughest trying to the good thing is that there's a lot of them that you can find, but I would say right now, just because people are really strongly heavily I think it's more of a they hope to see them on screen type of thing, like they want to see a proper movie done of them. But Ghost Rider 1, everybody's really looking into that. Everybody wants the speculation. Oh, he's going to be in the Doctor Strange. You never know. So that
I didn't put that one on my list. I didn't put Ghost Rider 1 or was it Marvel Spotlight 5? Marvel Spotlight 5 and 6. I didn't put Marvel Spotlight 5 and 6 and Ghost Rider 1 on my list because it gotten a little out of hand.
Exactly.
And we saw what happened with some of these X-Men books that you actually have on your list that got out of hand. They've dropped a lot. Like I can talk about the X-Men, was it 129 that I purchased at the end of the year, and a 9.4. I bought that. I mean, first off, the guy gave me basically a $200 discount, which is still, I'm looking at the price, is still basically a $200 discount of what it's going for. But that book was going for over $1,000 at 9.4. And now you can, for the right motivated seller, you can get it probably for $600. So that just tells you the Ghost Rider stuff. That's why I didn't put it on my list. I'm hoping it dies down a little bit. I'm hoping that this year it dies down. We don't. Hopefully, I hate to say it like that. I want to get news, but I don't want to. I'm hoping we don't get anything with Ghost Rider this year, and it drops in price maybe in 6 months. And
exactly.
Then I slide it in my list, but that's why I kept it off the list.
I'm hoping the same thing. I'm really hoping that whatever thoughts or plans or whatever it is, or whatever speculation that's happening, thinking that he's going to be in that movie. I really hope that it doesn't happen. I hope that something, either that or I hope that it's so minor that it doesn't make a difference. I mean, I know it's not going to, pretty much once there's a MCU Ghost Rider, it's going to, all bets are off just because, people, look at what happened with Venom. It's just the no people oh no, Venom's in.
Look at the Tomb of Dracula 10. All they did was cast a person.
Yep.
We haven't seen him do anything. We haven't seen an action scene. They don't even have a script finished for his movie.
Exactly.
They're reworking his script, which makes me think. That's why I'm kind of worried about the Ghost Rider thing. I think Ghost Rider might eventually come, but it's because I think they might do a team up with these guys. Or they might do something because you got the Moon Knight TV show that came out of nowhere, and Mahershala Ali's been cast for Blade for 3 years or 4 years now. was at least 2 years before the pandemic. So you're looking at like 4 years he's been cast, and you knocked out a Moon Knight in a year. So I don't know what the plans are, but yeah, I'm hoping that's kind of gets delayed a little bit with any Ghost Rider stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah,
me too. So Jeffrey says, shut. Yeah, the market's funny. When the Eternals trailer dropped, those books all spiked. Now they're all back down. Well, I mean, there's kind of a reason for that, just because of the fact that, as far as the movie was concerned, I know a lot of people have a very varying and differing opinions on it. And I also think it's mostly too because we don't know where it's all going to go. You know what I mean? So it's just like you have that first issue, and it's funny too because a lot of everyone jumped on the first issue because like, oh, you gotta get the first issue of the Eternals, the first, but it's not the first appearance of all of them. But like they scattered their appearances throughout that book, throughout the first few issues.
And that's what was it, Jack Kirby? That's what he was known to do.
Yeah,
when he did that type of stuff.
Yeah, well, because he went ahead and he was like he's somebody that was all about world building. That's why in terms of the way I saw that movie, like I looked at it and I was like, well, this is kind of true to how he would have done it. Like he would have wanted to build up more to it. And I think everybody really wanted to just like, oh, like, so this is everything Eternals and we understand everything about him right from the get go. And just like, yeah, that's not how that story would work. Even if it was if they're just staying faithful to how Jack Kirby would tell it, that's not how that works. You got to kind of, he wants you to build up and see how big the world is.
And I got a feeling like this movie, and like a lot of people don't like when you say this, I got a feeling whenever you finish with Eternals properties, just Eternals, like TV shows, movies, if you watch them all together, I got a feeling you're going to be like, this is freaking awesome. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's because I think it's like, to me, it reminds me like a level one of a video game. Like you're just in level one on Eternals 1. And to speak on what Jeffrey said about the market, a 9.8 still sells for very expensive in Eternals 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we've seen it on the list with TiVo and other stuff. Eternals 1 and a 9.8 is still very expensive. The one that I'm surprised is not expensive in a 9.8, well, hasn't gone up just like the number one in a 9.8, is Eternals 2, because that's the Celestials' first appearance.
Yeah.
And they're going to be a bigger role to me than the Eternals.
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely.
If I could get, and this is just going on with the investment stuff to use that book to get other books. Now, if I can find a Celestials' first appearance, high grade, I'd probably grade it and then sell it. If I get it raw cheap, and I'd sell it and use that money for some books that we have on our list.
Yeah. I mean, I think you definitely can. I mean, I was able to at some point. Like, it wasn't. When I say like now, when you're saying cheap, you're talking about like less than $100, right?
Yeah.
And
that's when you have to go back to knowing how to grade too.
Oh yeah. But I was able to do that exact thing with that book because I actually wanted to collect the whole run just because like for me at least I looked at it where it's like it's just a Kirby series. It was his last, I think, pretty much not his last series, but it was one of his last series at Marvel. So it's just like it's a pretty cool one to
it's one of his last like withdrawn and written ones. It's not the last one, but it's one of the ones where he's like he basically did 1 through I don't forgot where he stopped, but yeah.
And I think that the other one that happened was what was it, Machine Man, and he was working on that for a while, and then he kind of hopped off of that. So it's just like I wanted to get that for my own personal collection and everything, but it really is true that when you look at some of these things and how they go, the market does dictate that stuff. But then what happened, like you were saying with like the X-Men books, like I can even like speak to X-Men 94. Like 94 is I would say right now probably more affordable than it's been in years, just because of the fact that everybody everybody's specking on it, and people are looking at Giant Size. Giant Size is the big book right now for the X-Men. It sounds crazy, but if you're looking for that new team, Giant Size is the book that has shot through the moon. And right now 94 kind of has it definitely
it's slowly been going down. It's slowly been going down. Like, well, I shouldn't say slowly. It's actually made a jump down, and now it's slowly still going down.
Yeah. So it's, it's a tough book to. I mean, it's definitely a tough book to find. I mean, when we say it's going down, like, I mean, you're still gonna have to pay some money for it. You're not gonna get a 9.8, for like $500 and be, like, you're gonna have to pay some money to get it if you want a high grade. But
yeah, put it like this: you're not gonna get because I can tell you what I bought an 8.0 for, and this was 2020 January. So pandemic hasn't started yet. It started literally like I want to say 2 months later. Because that was the first convention of the year. Second one was in Chicago, and then everything shut down. But I bought a 8.0 for $500. Right now, it's gone up to, it was up to like what, 1700. Now it's down to like 1300 for 8.0. So it's going down a few $100s, but it's not at that $500 price point that it was 2 years ago. I got a phone call.
Oh, no problem. So, and with that, that's partly why I put it on my list, just because, again, when people are, you look at what people are trying to get at one time or another, and, as everything kind of, goes one way, it's good to look the other way. Just even if it's something that you're not specifically able to afford or able to look at least you can kind of get an idea. So you got to follow trends here and there. And that's why, with my list, I'm trying to follow or try to stay away from some of the trends that are kicking up and some of the stuff that, people are going to go directly towards. I would say, the Silver Surfer stuff that I have on here is more kind of a, I guess I call it a little bit of an urgency thing, just because I want to be able to say that, I at least can get that run, because that is a run I would like to complete. Silver Surfer 4, I would say, is the other big stretch book on that list, just because it is, a great book. It's I guess of that run of books, it's one of the lower print run books. And getting it in a good high grade because of the cover and everything, the black cover and a square bound is tough. So I always have my eye out for one. It's one that definitely have to save up my pennies for, just because it's an expensive book and a high grade. But I'm always looking to see if there's one that is maybe mid grade, somewhere that I can afford it, and then also looks pretty cool. So that's definitely another one that I would like to pick up, but I list that as a stretch, along with X-Men 94 and Ghost Rider #1, just because those are, I mean, they're not quite, I would say, blue chip books, but they're definitely, recognizable big Bronze Age books that people, want to have. So I would say of the Bronze Age stuff, like those are, among the elite Bronze Age books that you'll be able to get from Marvel. So there is one book that's kind of like an outlier, I guess I would say, on this list, and it's one that is really kind of, I wouldn't say different. I mean, it's definitely one that I think a lot of people don't put the focus and attention into, and but it's an awesome run of books. And the reason why I really want to complete that run is because it's something I've never seen fully in comic form. And so I feel like there's more story that's going to be told through the comics than what came through the movie. And that is Akira #38. So that one has a couple of different distinctions with it. Number one, it has a low print run, just because it was the end of the series. And number two, because it was in the movie, because of the movie Akira, there's more story there than that you'll get through that comic run than you'll get through the actual movie, because the movie only had a time, runtime of the 2.5 hours or whatever it was, so they couldn't fit the entire huge epic story that they made within that within the movie, but they went ahead and put more in that book. So it's definitely one I want to get. It's a really, really hard book to find. I've been looking for it, I wouldn't say probably for about like 4 or 5 years on eBay. And, the only ones I ever see are really expensive. So I'm always keeping my eye out to see if there's one that's, not ridiculously high price, but people know about that book, and they know that it's a rare book, or rare-ish type book, where it's just like, you're not going to see it at a shop. If you ever see Akira 38, definitely buy it, just because it's a book that doesn't come along that often. So, but definitely one, if you ever watched the anime Akira, it's one of the greatest animes of all time, and it's been rumored since, like, I would say like the time it came out, pretty much maybe a year or two after it came out, that they were going to do live action, and they'd never done it yet. So I think in terms of that, it's not something that I have a ton of urgency on, because it's going to be a movie at some point. I don't think they'll get a live action for it. It's been almost 40 years and they haven't been able to do it, but it's definitely something that is just really, really cool. And I think, I mean, for me, for my personal collection, it's definitely something that I would consider to be definitely a grail. So it's definitely one I'm definitely going to said definitely about 17 times, like Rain Man, but it's one that I really, 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 really want to get and be able to say I own. So that's a personal grail of mine. I think it's a just amazing story, and I really want to see the true vision of what the story was going to entail. So definitely one I'm going to have. Jeffrey commented in. He said that he knows a little about Akira, never read any, but seen bits of the anime, and loved the toys he had for it. So the movie is really cool. The movie, though, you can tell skips around a lot from the main story, just because of they kind of jump from one thing to the next a little bit. So I always had a feeling there was more to it, but what makes Akira so special is that it kind of had somewhat like the distinction of being just that game changer in animation, that like almost like kind of how like Disney had when they first started out, like they were just doing things that no one had ever seen before. So in the 80s, the animation was so clean and just really nicely done that no one had ever seen something like that done on screen before. So that's what made like everybody jump to it and say, oh, this is amazing. So it's really just a fun movie to see. So if you ever get the chance to watch it, definitely check it out. It's really cool. It's really well done. And it's almost one of those movies that especially when you see it in HD, if you see it in like a 4K or something like that, which I don't know if they have a 4K version, but if you just watch a Blu-ray version of that movie, it really is like you would think that they made it a couple years ago. That's how nice it looks even now. And it's just like, nope, that was what I think 1988, so a long time ago, but really awesome quality. But as far as I'm trying to think of some other books that might be on here that are a little bit different or strange. As far as that, I think everything's pretty much straightforward. It's not too hard. I think another book that might be a little tough is Strange Tales 169. I think that's more of a spec thing though, just because people are really leaning towards was it? Well, now he'd be Doctor Voodoo, I guess. But Brother Voodoo, they're assuming that he's going to definitely be a part of the MCU at some point. I haven't heard anything about casting. That's more Whodat's realm. So I don't think they've cast anybody for it. They're definitely they want to be leaning more towards it, just because they're introducing a lot of characters, or they're going to be introducing more characters into the Doctor Strange universe. So you can, he's someone that you can bank on coming eventually. But I have seen that there's a lot of the eBay listings I've seen have just been like really torn up and beat up copies. But because people are just speculating on it so much, some of the prices are a little high. So I put that as a stretch goal, just in case, like if I find one that isn't really just super overpriced, I would definitely go ahead and hop onto that. The X-Men books, 95 to 101, 94 to 101 are for me just that run. So basically the new team run. I have most of it. I just still need to get 94, 95, 96, 97, and then of course that 101. So I'm doing the same as Whodat, just kind of keeping an eye out for a good quality of it, just because with it being something that's kind of gone down a bit, I want to be able to get one that's quality, like rather than how people have been doing, which is like kind of just paying high price for something that was low grade. Like I don't want to get something that's beaten to death. I want something that I can at least be able to know that it's decent enough quality.
You want something that you're happy with. Yeah,
exactly. One that I'm happy with. One that I'm happy spending the money on too. That's part of the other thing too. Sometimes when it comes to some of the books that are just overpriced, like just like a Brother Voodoo and stuff like that, like I don't feel I'm not, and this is not a knock on anybody who collects low grade, because low grade is better than no grade any day of the week. But I also think that too,
Patient, like Jeffrey said, patient always key, man. Patience always key, because
that's right.
I mean, like I showed that video with some of the books that that Silver Surfer.
Yep.
You saw a couple, like at least a couple of books that was on the list.
Oh yeah.
Not saying that you're going to get both of them, but if you would have been impatient, you probably would have bought them already and be like, oh
Oh yeah.
man, I spent $400 on a
Yeah.
a CGC,
Exactly.
CGC book, and like this guy is offering a raw book that looks better than mine for the same
Yep.
price, And
Exactly.
you probably could save some money, because with these IG people, especially like Red Hood, they will, like, if you offer him $370, he probably take it.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
Yep. And the other part too, like with that is when you're doing stuff like that, and I mean, everybody's their own collector. You do whatever you want to do, but I just think about it for me. I know my budget and how I would go about it, so that's why I am a little bit more patient with things, just because I don't want to drop a bunch of money on something and then find out that or just kind of like, for me personally, I kind of feel like if I overpaid for something, I mean, if I really overpaid and it's a grade that I'm not happy with, or if it's just a quality I'm not happy with, I'm not happy with it. And the thing that's going to be tough is that I know that for me personally, it's not full out easy to sell some of those things and say, like, I got it at this grade, I wanted it around here, and it just kind of, I just took what I could get. So I think waiting it out is always the best way to do it. Um, oh, you got the Immortal Biggie Shack, sub me up. Thank you, Immortal Biggie Shack and New World Order Comics. If you get a chance, always check out the Immortal one. He's got plenty of shows going on live. Just on his show talking about the different books that he picks up, and then just doing his hangouts. So I want to say what's up to my man Biggie Shack. Thank you for watching, my brother. But yeah, man, just that's I guess my comic wisdom on that one is just, that's just my kind of style, as being a little bit patient. Sometimes it bites me, just because there's some books that I was too patient on, and they're real expensive now. But then there's other books that you just kind of ride the wave and hope that you kind of ride the wave, and you hope for the best, where it's just like, hey, I'm it's up at the top, maybe it'll come back down again. Sometimes you get lucky and it will. Other times, it stays up there for a while, and you end up paying more than you wanted to, but it's okay. Just, you got to think of it in terms of, for everything that you paid a little bit more for, think about all the stuff that you got for a deal. You know what I mean? And it'll kind of even out, or at least that's what I tell myself, so I don't feel as bad sometimes. But I do my best to be kind of cool about things. I think that there's there's definitely well, for my philosophy, for the way I've been collecting and how I've been able to, I guess, kind of go about these lists, because my list used to be a lot different when I first started these lists. It was I can look back on it and say that there's a lot of books that were on there that was just like super attainable. I mean, it was just books that, like, really, they weren't hard to get at all. It was just one of those situations where it's just like, all right, I have my focus on so many different things at once. So then what, how am I going to get this one book that, was affordable, but I just, was going out so many different directions. One of the things that I did that actually helped me a lot, and I went ahead and I stopped buying newer books. So I don't go to the shop to get newer books. I usually go and try to get back issues when I can. And that helped me get, a lot more focused. And it also helped me, put my money to where I was really looking to get books from, rather than books that were, just on the rack that I was like, yeah, I can grab these books. That's cool. Just because in the end of it, I mean, I was happier doing it. I know that it was an easier way to get some things that I really wanted. So that was my focus on that. And, what does that mean for me? It means that sometimes you miss out on the, the new hot spec book that comes out, and, 3 days later is worth $500. Hey, we can't all get the Black Panther 3s, but, on the other hand, though, what happens if it does, if it didn't work out, and it's like, I, bought like 15 of these, and then turns out in, a week later, no one cares about it, so there's always that kind of, speculation is a harsh mistress, man. just because things kind of going, they come and go very quickly. But as far as what I like to do, I like to just kind of stick with that stuff that I like. I think that's the safest bet, is stick with what you like, and really just kind of focus on what you really want. Kind of like I guess use that Jack Sparrow logic. Jack Sparrow logic was, what do you really want? And it's a good question to ask yourself sometimes if you're looking at your collection as if your collection's grown a ton and you're just not sure like what you really want anymore, or whether you want like all that stuff. The other thing too is that sometimes you're just buying books just to buy them, and that I think I kind of fell into myself, where it's like, oh, I'm just going to keep getting these books, and some of the stories were good, but then it's just like once a book kind of fell off, it was just like, well, let me stick with it and see if it turns around again, and that's kind of the focus that kind of got me off of where I wanted to be. So now I'm kind of on that path again, and just kind of on a path that I think is better overall. So that's why I do the list. I know the list isn't for everybody. Some people like it, some people don't, and that's fine. I just find it helps me, focus on what I truly want to get, what books I really want to go with. And actually, I'm gonna shout out a guy who actually inspired me a little bit as far as really focusing down, and that is Mr. JLS Comics. Hey, Jesse, what's going on? If you don't remember, we used to have a live show together, me and Jesse, with Edwin, Strictly Comics, and Justin, Exile State Comics, called it was called the Comic Conversation. It was great fun. But Jesse had and I just showed him out. So JLS Comics, definitely check out his channel. He's got just amazing. His G.I. Joe explanation videos of all the characters are incredible, and he's kind of going into a lot of explanation videos and stuff like that. But Jesse went ahead and he focused his list to just get one book one time, and it was just get a giant size X-Men, and he was like, this is the one book I'm focused on, this is the one book I want. And really, when he did that, it really made me think that I'm kind of doing this in a way that might not be productive. And so yeah, can you do the what? No. Oh, no, not right now, thank you though. Nope. But hey, you want to say hi to the people?
Yeah. Hi.
So my daughter Allie wants to jump in and say hi to everybody. We're live. Go ahead, say hi. This is the one time you're shy, when the whole world can see you, huh?
Hello.
Hello. Bonnie?
Not right now, but
getting ready for bed.
She's sleeping.
She's getting ready for bed.
Getting ready for bed.
Oh, there it is. It's showtime. I know it would take a second. Showtime would happen. Okay.
Daddy.
Yep.
Wait, I want to see the camera. What?
Oh, okay. She got a report card today, and she did very well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This hand is right here, not over here.
Yes, I know, but that's why the camera goes. It's kind of just an optical illusion for you.
Weird.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
Okay, go see Mama now. Say bye.
Bye.
Go ahead. Thank you, baby. But just what I was saying is, Jesse kind of got me to do that focus of, just even if it was just narrowing down to one book, it was one of those things where it's just like, it really made me think, when I saw somebody just like, yep, I'm getting one book and that's it. That's my one purchase for the year. So I thank him for kind of helping me think, see things a little differently. And just kind of, like I said, it's not for everybody to do things that way, but I think that it does, when you kind of get to that point where, you're not looking for like the newer books just aren't doing it for you, I guess you could say. That's really when it takes time to be like, okay, and you start, and I think everybody kind of gravitates, all right, well, let me just get back issues. Then you kind of really start narrowing that down a little bit more and saying, okay, but which ones do I really want? And that's really where I'm kind of getting to. So, that's why I like doing these lists. It's a lot of fun for me, and I think that it's really just a great way to get your collection to really start to shine out and kind of separate from this is what everybody's picking up versus like, no, this is stuff I really like. This is my like legitimately my collection. Like even Whodat with his stuff, like he went full boat on like everybody knows Whodat is the turtle guy, 100%. If you need anything about the turtles, you need to know something about the turtle. He's your man. Like he's your reference. He will go ahead and tell you what books to get, what books are good, what to look for, how to know that something isn't the exact right print that you want. Like he knows all that stuff because he went ahead and he focused right in on that. So that was how he went about things, and really, it's kind of cool. Like that's I think really what helps with watching the different channels that you can see and getting to know different people is that you kind of get that focus and then you get to find your own collecting groove, I guess you could say. Like what you
because a lot of times to add on to what you're saying, it's just kind of what you focus on, because I know some people who love villains. Like that's their thing, and if you love villains, like a matter of fact, talking about a person who loves villains, Dustin from Two Brother Comics, I know he loves villains, and I never talked to him about it, but that should be like you gotten a lot of stuff you want already. If you love villains, start collecting those villains because, and a lot of times, the best time to collect the villains after they already appeared. So, if you like that, if you're into DC, collect your DC. If you're into Marvel, collect Marvel. I would only get a certain book that I'm not interested in if I see a probability to get a book I am interested in.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of have a long-term goal. That's why when he showed my list earlier, the bottom row is Well, I think you can make us like small like you did last time.
There we go. Yeah. No, yeah. I'm not a producer. Don't ever have me on to produce any of your videos. I'm still new to this thing.
No, hey, I still learn time and time again. But the bottom row, but I would say that the first Prince of Wasp is probably out of all of them are the most obtainable one. But another one you have to look at a right condition one. But that bottom row is and the Fantastic Four 49 I think is obtainable as well. Those two and the rest are like long-term goals. Like that's me getting like I have like 3 NYXs. That's me selling 2 of the NYXs. To fund those. If I can get 9/8 of that, that's basically $2,000 a piece. And $4,000 can get me. Basically can get me a Fantastic Four 49. Really, I think I actually a decent grade too. It's $4,000. But will it get me a first Wasp? Probably, actually not. I don't think, unless I want a super low grade. It won't give me any of that other stuff, but it could be like my war chest or whatever to get these other books. So these other books that I have on Melissa, like long-term investment, retirement, like that's stuff that when I get to a certain age, I wouldn't mind selling. It's like a 401k. I mean, it's only one, and Chris probably has that. A lot of people has this. It's only one really group of books that I'd be the last thing I would sell is my turtle collection. That'd be the last thing I sell. But everything else eventually I will sell, but these are like long-term blue chips that they really don't go down.
Nope.
They have a better track record, continuously growth. And this whole bottom row, I'll include the Turtles Mania #1. And what I'm about to say is the Turtles Mania 1 and this whole bottom row. And I'm excluding like ASM 129 and all this other stuff up there. That I would be happy with all those books and the Turtles Mania #1 if I had to sell, even if I had to get rid of trying to think well, maybe I could show it off. If I had to get rid of these books, for example, if I had to get rid of these books, Fantastic Four First Molecule Man, I'm actually collecting Fantastic Four 11 through 20, but if I had to get rid of those 11 through 20 to get these, would I be happy with these or the Fantastic Four 11 through 20? I'd be happy with these. I would be a lot of happy. I'd be enthusiastic with these if these were just the only ones on my, that I have. Because those are the big boys, those are the play, those are the Marvel keys. I'd say the same thing if I was into DC on certain, maybe Batman first appearances and Superman and stuff, but that I would be more happy with those. If I got rid of one of the rereads, the variant, I have no problem with doing that to have one of those. So that's how I'm thinking about it. It's like what I would be happy with, multiples of a certain book or one of these more. I'll be happy with one of these. And shout out to Blasted and Stash It. I see you stuck in there. So he says, how am I? See, that's how you all Jeffrey. It's so funny. Jeffrey, I like a lot of people say like Ninja Turtles for me. Like it's people I would talk to that it's in our little circle that we talk to a lot. If a lot of people say if they ask turtle stuff, they always ask me. If I have a Hulk question, I'll probably ask Jeffrey. If I have a Captain Marvel question, I'm gonna ask Tony Sanders.
Yep.
If I have a Mortal Kombat question, I'm gonna ask Dustin from Two Brother Comics. If I have X-Men question, which I know a lot about X-Men, but I know somebody who knows more than me. And who is it? Kyle Walker. So it's like we all like our little niche. Everybody knows somebody who knows something more about a certain collection.
And nobody has G.I. Joe's or Transformers questions. Don't ask me nothing, but that's okay. No, I'm just joking. I mean, I'm the G.I. Joe and Transformers guy. Like I have both full runs. I know a lot about that stuff. I know a lot about those, but I mean, and everybody has different knowledge across the board about different things. But it's just like, yeah, man, it's just there's a lot of that, and really, it's just one of those things where when you think about where everybody collects from, you know what I mean? Even though there's a lot of actually, let me go ahead and
you can take it up, but like a lot, and it's so funny when people like just talk about that list. I'm not these shows, but to talk about that list, three of those books I think that we were shown. I'm thinking, remember, three of them I have owned, and I have owned a high grades of I consider high grades. One of them, two of them I've also owned multiples, which is ASM 129. I've owned multiple copies. I've had a 9.4. I've had 8.5. The first appearance of Iron Man, I've had a 1.5, and then I had a 5.0 signed by Stan Lee.
Yep, so, I remember that.
And what's the other one I'm thinking about?
I can tell you one that you
Journey Mystery. In the Journey Mystery. I've owned the Journey Mystery. So I've had all those. I was doing my process trying to, buy books, sell books to get other books. Now I'm kind of happy with my collection where I'm at for is my Turtles collection and the books I do want to keep in a PC. I want to get those books back. Now my process is going to take longer because I didn't expect the comic boom to happen. But if I kind of knew if it was going to happen, I probably would have got rid of at least the 1.5 of the Iron Man.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say another book that you had that isn't on that list anymore. Oh, that's not on that list, but one that you did have was that what's it called? Fantastic Four 5, the first Doom.
I have that.
Oh, I thought you sold it. Well then, never mind.
I had a 5.5.
Yeah.
I had a 5.5. I think it was 5.5 or 5.0. I think it was 5.5. Yeah, it was a 5.5. So
okay,
5.5. I sold it for over GPA prices off of eBay. So I broke a GPA. I can't complain about that book. I mean, that's one of the books that, man, if I had it, that's like $20-something thousand probably. Maybe 30 because it's a 5.5. But I can't be mad about it because I literally broke a GPA record when I sold it. I had the highest sale ever recorded at that time. It wasn't, it's not recorded, but I sold it at the highest sale. And I was lucky enough to win another copy on a waffle or raffle. So now I cherish that book or because I had it, sold it for, like I said, a big profit, and then I'm getting it back for probably, I think, little to nothing. You know me, the little or nothing. So I'm like, I need to keep this book as long as possible, and so that's one of the books that I'll probably sell it, but it'll be a while before I sell it.
Yeah. and the coolest part with those books, especially the bottom row, is just that, like you said, like those are books that aren't going, like those are books that people will always want. And that's where things get kind of, I mean, not to say that people one day are going to turn their nose and say, First Punisher, no one really wants that. No, people will want it, but it's just one of those deals where it's like, if you could have, you ask any collector, if you could have the first appearance of the Punisher or the first appearance of Incredible Hulk, which one are you choosing? It's Hulk hands down every day, no questions asked.
Unless
I don't care how big of a Punisher fan you are, there's no way you would turn it down.
Well, I'll give you 1%. Somebody could 1%? Turn it down. And the reason 1%, and this is the reason why, because a lot of people talked about when I brought up a story about my Turtles on the first print and the AF-15 that I got rid of to get it. It's like, oh man, I'll take the AF-15 all day. Me, that's a grail. It's a grail. It's on that grail set, but it's not my grail. So if somebody's an avid Punisher person, they could be an avid. Like when I say they got everything Punisher, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like me, I have behind the Black Panther stuff. I have a Turtles drawing just like that. Right next to it is a pop of Casey Jones signed by Kevin Eastman. I got Turtle cards up here, as you can see. I got Turtle action figures behind me. So I'm on that level that I would get rid of like AF-15 to get the Turtles on first print. Now, some people like it would not do it, but when you look at price wise, I'm still ahead by a lot. but I wouldn't get rid of like a, I would say 1 point. Let's start with one. I wouldn't get rid of a 1.0 Hulk, Incredible Hulk, unless I'm getting like a 9.6 or 9.8 ASM like Punisher. It has to be.
Exactly. It has to be justified. And that I can understand, and that I can that I will give. So I'll just give you that 99 to 1% type situation, And when it comes to it, I think just that does speak to a lot of how people collect. So and not that everybody needs to just work their way up and collect bigger things. Just because if you like having, like, if your tastes lie in a specific spot, like if you're just, let's say you just love everything 90s, do you, man? Just get everything 90s. Whatever makes you happy. If you're a big Bronze Age person, if you're like, because I know a lot of people that have decided that Golden Age is their jam. Like that's it. Like they just
As a matter of fact, I know one guy from England. Mm-hmm. I have to say his race because that's what makes it kind of interesting. Some people might say it's interesting to me because the guy's, I would say, of Indian descent and not Native American, like Indian descent. So, but I think he was born in England because he has that accent. So, he collects Golden Age Superman. That's his jam. He has other stuff that he does collect.
Yep.
But his main focus is Superman 2 through whatever it ends in the Golden Age.
Wow.
And guess what? He only has a few that he needs. Like he has a few. I think he already I don't know if he has a 2 yet, but I think he has a 3. But he has a lot of Superman, and he said he's written off getting Superman 1 because I asked him about it when he went live, and he says I could get a Superman 1, but he said he couldn't justify selling his Journey into Mystery, his Tales of Smith 39, his books like that. Like, I was trying to sell Caliber books he would have to get rid of to fund that Superman 1. He said he doesn't feel right about that. He would have to get rid of those big blue chip Silver Age keys to get the Golden Age Superman 1. So he's written it off because it's gotten so crazy, and he doesn't feel like he doesn't feel right getting rid of
books that he knows he's gonna miss.
I would say the meat or the steak of his collection. Yeah, even though that's not his jam 100%. Superman is his jam, but he would have to get rid of those things to get that Superman 1. And he's like, I can't see myself doing it. I can't see myself getting rid of 10 big books to get my $100,000.
Yeah, 10 big books to get one. I mean, let's just say it would be one mega book, but he just said, for him, that's not the way. Now, there's other people that would, that are just like, yeah, like, that's what I would do. I would go ahead and get rid of those big books because they can easily go ahead and let them go and say, you know what, I've had my time with these. It's time, time to move on. Like, I understand.
Yeah, for him, it's not that easy.
I 100% understand. Like, trust me.
Yeah.
So everything that you've seen me sell, for the most part, I mean, and when I say for the most part, I mean, I would have to give it probably like 98 to 2% that I've sold in the auction is all stuff that I have multiples of. So for the most part, it's just like I've had multiples of these books and I'm ready to move on from those. But it's like, it's not to say that like, oh, I would just sit there and be like, okay, so my single issue, like my PC issue of it, I'm gonna go ahead and just sell it. I'm still working on doing that.
Yeah, and it's steps and processes that, because I say like that's what I think Tony Sanders is at that point where he'll sell stuff out of his PC that he doesn't. Now he's at a point where he doesn't care about that character that much. He likes it, but that's not his thing, So like it's a process, because it took him steps to do that. I think he was selling multiples. Then he got to a point where he's like, man, why? He's like, man, Avengers 1 is nice, but it's not like it's the first Captain Marvel. It's not the first female Captain Marvel. It's not, so it's like, or it's not Captain America's first Silver Age appearance. Those books that he cherishes more. So when he got to that part, he was like, well, I might as well get rid of it. Wow, especially since the price is good on it, get rid of it, and I could fund buying other stuff to fund some stuff, and maybe use that money to buy something. So that's how, once you get to that point, I think you're gonna be good. Like it's a process. It's a process.
Because I mean, I've had a lot of people tell me over the years that like, it's like, dude, like especially like when New Mutants 98 was like, really hot, they were just like, you need to get rid of that, man. You can sell that now and then get it back in a couple of years. Like, you'll be fine. It's just like, yeah, no, but like, because for me the issue with that is I don't know what the Locust. You gonna bet, baby? Okay. I heard Mama tell you say good night to me. Have a good night kiss. Okay. Can I have a good night kiss, please?
Daddy.
What?
Your face is going to there, but you're facing here.
I know that. That's part of the way that cameras work. It's a big mystery. But all right, baby, it's time for bed now. Can I kiss the night?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a hug.
No, I want kiss.
Okay. All right. Oh, wonderful. Okay. They love your performance. Thank you.
Wait. Who's that?
That's a list. That's a list of comic books. Oh, wait. Oh, you want to tell them that? Oh, hold on. You want to tell them who the Fantastic Four are? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll get out the way so you can do that. Okay. So who? This is Allie's. So Allie has her own interpretation of the Fantastic Four. You tell them who they are.
Fireman, Rescue Girl, Rescue Man, and Big Bad Barry.
Big Bad Barry. There you go. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm afraid of Big Bad Barry.
Well, he's nice.
Oh, he's nice? Oh, okay.
Look how he makes that face. Sometimes he's angry, but the fire on him is from him on the floor, and all of that, all of those rock stuff are from him, right, Daddy?
That's what you say, yeah.
The black dots are from him, and the fire of the red and orange is him.
Okay.
Right?
Yep. All right, baby, it's time for bed.
This is burned.
Yeah, but that's okay. They're gonna take care of it. They're gonna save the day. That's what they do.
Yeah. But he doesn't look like he's gonna save the day.
No, but that's to throw everybody off.
Well, he is gonna save the day because because if someone is driving and he's not, and someone's driving, they can't do that.
No.
So that's why he's gonna rescue them to carry them because he's super strong.
Okay.
He's super strong.
Yes.
Yes, he's super strong.
Okay. All right. Thank you for letting us know. Night, night, baby. Okay.
No! Stop!
Let's go.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
Okay. It's bedtime now.
We're gonna let you guys have your own YouTube channel because we want to be on the same level as Ryan, who's making $3 million.
Okay. Allie, it's bedtime now. Go ahead. Go ahead. I know that. Okay. Thank you. You always wonder like when it's gonna go like this, and I say, oh, give me 1 sec.
Jeffrey said, "Future YouTube star." That's what I'm talking about, Jeffrey. We need to get these kids on this YouTube and start making some money. Oh man! So, but yeah, I hope everybody, if people are still watching and watch it through, I hope people like the list that we kind of came up with. Kind of think like you got to get into ideas what we're thinking about, how we're going through the process. But it's like Jeffrey said, it's baby steps.
Yep.
And you got to stay focused to get your goals on your list.
That's right.
Sometimes you get sidetracked when a great deal pops up.
Yep.
I mean, but as long as you don't go too sidetracked, like I said, Ghost Rider stuff is technically kind of on my list, but I'm not gonna go out my way to get it. Now, if I end up getting Ghost Rider 1 or his first appearance, and it's like 10 to 20%, I would say at least 20%. If it's 20% under GPA or fair market value, then yeah, I might jump on it.
No, exactly.
But I'm not gonna go out my way looking for it. It have to be the deal have to present itself to me for stuff like that is on my list. But I'm not, just like a Hulk 181. Yeah, I would love to get another Hulk 181 because I got a feeling that book's gonna even go in higher, probably in the next 5 years. But I'm not gonna go out my way to get one because the price is so crazy right now, still for that book. But if I have the money and somebody's selling me the copy I want for like 20 to 30% under what it's going for, then I'm gonna take it because I've gotten deals like that recently for other X-Men stuff. So,
yep.
But that's my thought process on it, and I think anybody can get the stuff that is on the list. Will it happen tomorrow? Probably not, unless you hit the lottery. But it takes steps. It takes steps, and I would say don't rush to get. Oh, and I want to emphasize that don't rush to get the stuff on your list.
Yeah.
Put your casting net out there and see what deals have, because if you rush to get it, you might miss out on a deal a week later that you could have saved, a lot of money on. Just have that kind of that war chest. I like to call it that. Have that war chest in cash, separate from your account, and be like, this is my comic funds, and so you don't rush to go get it. So,
yes, I saw you. Go ahead. Wonderful. Okay. All right. Good night, baby.
So so that's just my thought process on it. So hopefully, people kind of listen to that part and kind of, because I think everybody can get their goals. You just gotta take it step by step, be focused, and stay on course. If you get sidetracked, make sure you get back on the course. That's all.
Yep, I just lucked out on that one because I thought that was gonna be a struggle because she's in full Showtime mode right now. But I 100% agree with everything you said. Like it's definitely a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's definitely something that you can, space out over time. I mean, just for your own sanity, space it out. Just because, I mean, when you are trying to do it all in one go, it becomes so tough. And I mean, if you can make if you can make headway, just kind of chipping away at it, that's the best way to do it. Just because that's where like Whodat was saying, that's where deals will present themselves to you, rather than you kind of trying to chase things down and maybe having to compromise what you would basically compromise your war chest and your thinking of well, maybe if I pay an extra $100, this would be at least I have it, right? Don't do that. Just kind of let it come to you. That's really what I've learned with this stuff is you let these things come to you, and they'll eventually make their way to you. And I'll be able to show you that based on how this list goes, and just show you what deals came to me this year, and maybe out of this list I only get 5 books. Hey, that's what happens. Maybe I end up getting a lot of books. Maybe I find a lot of stuff. Maybe I don't. Maybe it takes me 5-6 years to get this specific list gone and done with. And then maybe even still, maybe I change my mind on some books on this list where it's just like, what? Oh wow.
Hey, how did they find your channel? Oh God.
Oh man. That just came out of nowhere.
Multiple times it came through. Jeffrey's probably dying laughing right now. Oh my God.
I was making a great point, and then all of a sudden, boom, but yeah, that really you're telling me, dude, I have no idea. I don't have any skeletons in my closet, and I don't know what that was all about.
Oh, wow.
But just to kind of finish my thought there, sometimes you may change your mind on this, and you think that these books are something that you want, and you're like, what, go in a completely different direction. So you have to be. I would say the best thing to do is take it slow, do what you can, and then always be adaptable. Be ready to change, just because all right, you wanted this, you wanted a bunch of these books, and maybe you're just like, what, not really into Silver Surfer that much anymore. Don't care if I get it. Don't care if you know what I mean. And other books, maybe it's something that you're like, what, this is something that I really want. It's going to be an awesome book to have. It's something that I really cherish. So that's what I'm going for. So
yeah, and that's like with me. Like I've been on a kick with Dr. Doom, and I have a lot of his big books already. I got his first appearance and second appearance. I don't have the first crossover. That's why it's on the list with Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. I have the Foom issue, the classic Foom cover. I don't have the superhero, so I don't have some of the books, and that's why. And then I think Fantastic Four 11 through 20, they have some, like, I think it's his third appearance in that run somewhere, and a nice cover. Oh, they're back. But you might need to make Jeffrey a moderator so he can attack him as soon as he sees him. But yeah. So like I've kind of been on a Doom kick, and eventually I probably will eventually sell Doom stuff, and it might go to one of those bigger keys. Like I would try to avoid his first appearance selling, but all the other appearances I probably would fund, like an ASM one or a Hulk one or stuff like that, But and to let people know. I'll put ASM 1 on this because I think AF15 has gotten to a point that it's not unobtainable, but it's silly. I can't see myself dropping 20,000 on a 1.5. 20,000.
No, exactly.
And I'll say the same thing if I didn't have my Turtles TMNT first print. If I didn't have it already, I would tell you. I would tell you the exact same thing. If I didn't have it already, I'd have had my third print that I had and been happy. But so I'd say the exact same thing with that book. So that's why AF15 is not on my list. ASM 1 is pricey depending on what grade you want. Good thing about it is I'm looking for 1.8 to 2.5.
Yeah.
That presents, if it's a 1.8, it presents great.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm great. Like, because good thing about CGC, and I think CBCS doesn't do it either. You have to look at the notes. If like the bottom staple is not attached, I I'm not worried about if it presents well in a slab.
Tony's still trying to pawn off those DC books.
Because
now,
he's for other stuff.
Listen, there's a DC collector out there that is looking for some good books. Talk to Tony Sanders. He's got something for you.
I talk to a lot of people that are trying to sell DC, and they got a lot of DC collectors. I hate to say it, they're very frugal. They're very frugal and picky. They're very frugal and picky. So they are out there and they buy them, but it's to me it's a lot easier to sell a Marvel key than it is a DC key, unless they can certain other key. He said, "I'm watching the auction in the background."
Yeah, no.
We need your help with these love face people.
Oh my god! Yeah. That really just, I mean, if I like, I have to watch this again in the replay just to see my face, because that just I mean that came so far left field.
Like you're talking, I was
like, wait a minute. But yeah, but no, that I feel is the truth, and I think that really as far as just when it comes to I would say just collecting in general. I mean that's really kind of a cool thing, and use the community, because I mean the community is there to help. That's another thing that I think a lot of people don't fully embrace sometimes, is that get to know people, find out what they have, find out what they collect, what they like, and then sometimes if you let them know the same thing, like, oh, this is what I collect, this is what I like. Sometimes people can help you find a deal. Sometimes someone knows somebody that is trying to sell something. Maybe they themselves have some books. It's like, oh, you're a big Batman collector. You know what? I have a bunch of Batman books, and it's not really something that I'm huge into. So yeah, let me see what I got, and we'll figure out a deal on it. Like that's another great way to kind of help, or even just making a trade straight up, where it's just like, you know what, you like Batman, I have these books, do you have any Moon Knight Volume 1? I'm looking for these ones here. Oh yeah, I have a couple of Moon Knight Volume 1 books that you're asking for. Let's work a deal out. Like that can help on that list too. I mean, I know for me, when I very first started out, first time I did a list was in 2015, and I remember that there were different members of the community that saw books on my list, and they helped me out. Like what's called Splash Page Comics ended up giving me 2 books that were on my list. There was a guy who used to be on YouTube named Kirby's Comics, and he ended up giving me and this is just as act of kindness. He ended up giving me a Wolverine CGC 8.0. And that was incredible. And I think he also gave me one of my Miles Morales as well. He was like, you know what? I have one. Here you go. Check this. And I was just like super excited to get that. And then, Simplified Comic Guy, he doesn't do comics anymore. But his name is Vince. And Vince was just an awesome member of the community. And he, for my wedding, saw a book that was on my list, and went ahead and he got me, he sent to me a was it X Factor number 5, which is first cameo of Apocalypse. He sent me I think it was an 8.5 actually. I have it still. He sent me an 8.5 of that book, just because it was on the list. So sometimes people have stuff on their list and they're willing to help you out, whether it's through acts of kindness, whether it's through you have a book that I don't even care about anymore, so I'm willing to make a trade with you, or I'm willing to just straight out sell it to you. So use the community. The community is a great place, and not just YouTube. Look on Instagram. You know what I mean? If you have people that are in comic groups with you that you're friendly with and you trust, maybe like some of the Facebook groups. If you're friendly and trust some of those people and want to make a deal that way, you can do that. I would say you'll probably have a better experience through either Instagram or YouTube, just because you can really get to know those people a lot better than sometimes in like the Facebook groups. But that's just my experience. I don't know. Some people may have experiences where they're really close to those people. And then on top of that too, the other really great thing that comes with this as well is that what I can say about getting to know the community is that there may be people that are local around you that are willing to kind of meet up and have hangouts and do stuff like Otto from 3 Men in the Basement, the 3 Men in the Basement guys, like they have their comic crawl that they do every year, and they're just, they pretty much invite anybody who can make it. Come on down, come get some books. Like we'll hang out, we'll have a good time. I know up where I'm at in Boston, there's a group of guys from all around the state that, we have our own comic group. We talk and we set up our own crawl that we went to a bunch of shops and stuff too. And it was a fun time. And then we always kind of just keep in touch and talk about different things, different books. We meet up at cons and stuff and just kind of have a good time, just, going around and hanging out. So, the community, again, can definitely help you out as far as, the different books that you're looking to get. Maybe they know somebody, like I said, know somebody who knows somebody. Maybe they have it themselves. Maybe, there's just a bunch of different possibilities that can come from that. So definitely, a great place to kind of find more, to be able to find, more of the books that you're looking for, is through the community. And, just if you're looking for an alternative way to try to find stuff other than going on eBay or finding a shop. So, it's all around you. It's always definitely, just a, it's always just sometimes thinking outside the box, but, using the resources that you have around you. So, with that, I think, that might be it for the show tonight, just because, I'm pretty sure that, we've gone ahead and shown our list. We've gone over some tips as to how to get the stuff you want, and just kind of, giving our tips on collecting and everything. So if anybody has anything, that they're not sure about, or has any questions as far as like, different collections and that stuff that you think that, you might be looking for to find out, go ahead and reach out to somebody. I can tell you right now, as far as, like I said before, like if you are trying to collect like a G.I. Joe run or a Transformers run, especially, both, let me amend that. Transformers or G.I. Joe runs through the Marvel runs, because I have the full runs of those two. If you're looking to get any of that stuff and you're not sure like which books are the ones to focus on, or maybe how to go ahead and get some of those books, go ahead and hit me up, because I can give you an idea as to what I did, let you know which books are the ones that are, are the, big books that you might want to focus on first. That's no problem. If you're looking for turtle stuff, Whodat is the guy. He'll tell you, pretty much everything and anything you want to know about that. And as far as, just different type of content that you might want to see on the channel, send me a message. Let me know. I'm on Instagram, BostonChris82. Go ahead and let me know what type of stuff that you like to see. I can go ahead and, try to, give things to you guys, let you see what it is that you like to see. I know that, Whodat is, on his channel, he has tons of different stuff he does all the time. He has different videos about spec that's not a spec, just showing off books that, you know what the books are. Oh, maybe you don't know what the books are, but you know that the characters are there. So it's just like what books are being speculated on, but they're not really spec. They're just legit books that are going to be coming, or that are pretty much MCU bound, that have been confirmed. He also does the auction on his channel. It's usually I would say on Thursday nights. Sometimes you might do a pop-up on the weekend, but usually Thursday nights, depending on, when he has time, the frequency of it. But, if you're looking to score some books, I go on that channel, sell some things, along with Tony Sanders, along with NOLA Comics, Whodat himself, and, a host of other, great sellers. So go ahead and check that out. And then, if there's, just any new content that you're looking for, like I said, I've been doing comic hauls. I'll be showing my, my top books as I get them in, and, just kind of having a good time. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out. It's been a great time talking with everybody. Shout out again to Jeffrey Comic Con, JLS Comics for popping in, Blasting and Stash It, Biggie Shack, New World Comics. Go ahead and give all those guys a subscription if you haven't seen those guys before. If you haven't checked out their channels, go ahead and check them out. Definitely sub up Whodat. Check out his stuff. He's, like I said, he's got a ton of great content all the time. Again, thank you guys for watching. I will be putting up some videos as soon as I get some new stuff that comes in. But I want to just end off as I always do with thanks for watching. Happy collecting. I'm out. Everyone have a good night.